Hey everyone, as 2023 is coming to a close, I thought it'd be a good idea to share what Rivian has done so far in 2023 and what its prospects are for 2024. 2023 has been a volatile year for the EV industry overall, and Rivian has been a standout in increasing its production targets for the year, while many others have either maintained or lowered their targets. So let's take a look at Rivian's 2023 and where I think the stock will be and the business will be in 2024.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
I mentioned already that Rivian has been one of the standouts in 2023 amid market difficulty for electric vehicles. Still, that hasn't been reflected in its stock price. Here I have Rivian's stock price gains for all of 2023 year to date as of this recording, and the stock price is down 0.33% for the year, so relatively flat. That's surprising considering the significant progress that Rivian has made in the year. Now, this could be because coming into the year, Rivian's stock price valuation was already expensive and it was already pricing in some incredible gains for the year. But it could also be the lowered expectations for the electric vehicle industry overall. The price competition, the decreasing demand from consumers, higher interest rates, and slowing macroeconomic growth has investors less optimistic about the electric vehicle industry overall, and Rivian included. Still, Rivian has made some incredible progress, including, as the CFO says, that in aggregate they've reduced their gross profit losses by over 100,000 per vehicle delivered as you look back to the third quarter of last year versus the third quarter of this year. That's a lot of progress on the bottom line. So in Q3 of this year, we produced more vehicles than we produced in the first 3 quarters of all of last year. So in just one quarter this year, they produced more than they did in all of the previous year. That's a lot of progress the company has made. Now, I will say investors should not expect Rivian to do the same kind of growth in production for 2024, but it's a little early for that. A little bit later in the video, I'll talk more about its production for 2024. So the company has continued to work on what they've been doing to reduce material costs within the vehicle. So in the first quarter, they took some downtime to introduce their LFP battery pack and their first fully in-house enduro drive unit. In addition to that, they were able to reduce their material costs by 35% for the commercial van. This is a typo here. This should be van and not van. So that's been good progress there on the commercial van side of the business. And remember, they ended their exclusivity agreement with Amazon. So starting 2024, they can start making sales to companies outside of Amazon for the electric delivery van. And management has said that this is one of their favorite products to sell because it's easier to produce and the gross profit margin is already higher than the other products it's selling. So as they look to driving from current levels to our path to positive unit economics at the end of 2024 next year, and that's really going to be driven by a number of new technologies that they'll introduce into the R1 platform in the middle of next year. So you can expect continued improvement in the R1 product line next year, and management again reiterating that they expect to be gross profit margin positive by the end of 2024, by Q4 2024, and that would be a huge achievement for Rivian to be sure. And if it does achieve that, I expect the stock price to increase right when they achieve that. Right when they achieve that, I expect there to be a boost in the stock price because that's a huge inflection point. That says that from each car sale, they're making money on each incremental unit sale, which is a big achievement. That's a big inflection point for car manufacturer sellers. One of the other reasons they're going to be able to achieve profitability in the fourth quarter of next year is because while they've introduced their Enduro Drive unit and their Max Pack in Q3 into their R1 portfolio, the overall penetration of those variants is relatively low. And so they have the opportunity to ramp up that penetration as they start to go into Q4 and then for all of next year. What that means is this Enduro drive unit is not in all of Rivian's cars right now. They're bringing in the penetration rate to more and more units right now. So when this achieves close to 100% penetration, that's going to build profitability because these units are cheaper to build, cheaper to incorporate into the vehicles. So that's one way the company is going to generate increasing profitability in 2024. They've also continued to see benefits on freight costs as the broader freight market has softened a bit as well. In 2020, 2021, and 2022, the cost of shipping soared because people were spending more time at home, ordering products to be delivered at home, spending more money on goods instead of services. And so shipping prices exploded, and that was hurting Rivian. Now those prices have normalized, and Rivian is experiencing the benefit of those costs coming down. So there's both the advantage of added potential volume that can come off of R1 as they go from 65,000 units to 85,000 units with the added efficiency. So here's where we start to talk about the number of units produced for 2024. It's my estimate that Rivian will produce somewhere between 65,000 and 75,000 units in 2024. Now, I don't think they've given an official target yet for 2024, and if they have and I missed it, please tell me what that figure is in the comments down below. But according to my estimates and given their fourth quarter production rate, they achieved about 16,000 unit production in the fourth quarter. If we multiply that 4, they're about at a 64,000 unit run rate. And so I'm adding 10,000 unit to that 64,000 to get them to a range of 65,000 to 75,000 units produced in 2024. That's a relatively modest increase in 2024, given that in 2023, they more than doubled their production from 25,000 to 54,000. So it's a modest increase, to be sure, but if they achieve that increase, as well as achieving the profitability in gross profit margin in Q4, I think that'll be a successful year for Rivian. And one of the reasons I say that they're not going to increase production by all that much is because there's going to be some shutdowns in the factory. So in the first quarter of next year, they're gonna, which is sort of their ongoing production progress within the plant prior to the shutdown that they'll take in the Q2 of next year. So they're gonna shut down for production in the second quarter of next year. And it's not only gonna impact volumes in Q2, but it's also gonna impact volumes in Q3. So their volume capacity is gonna be lessened because of these shutdowns that they're needing to do to update capacity, to update production, to increase the penetration of those Enduro units. And so those shutdowns and those upgrades are going to hit their production capacity and their production numbers for 2024. So the CFO saying that the 85,000 units of production run rate capacity, their expectation is that they'll be making progress towards that as they work through the fourth quarter of next year. And they'll probably wait until 2025 where they could see their true ability to produce the full 85,000 units of capacity. So it looks like 2024 is going to be something like between 65,000 and 75,000 units. My estimates, not management's. And then 2025 is when they'll increase that to closer to 85,000 units. So that's kind of like the production outlook from Rivian over the next couple of years. And of course, they're building out their second manufacturing facility. And once that comes up and online and fully at scale, that's going to add significantly more production capacity for Rivian. Now, if they are able to hit this target where they produced nearly 75,000 units next year and they hit gross profit margin positive in the fourth quarter of next year, I suspect Rivian's stock price will be higher than where it is today. How much higher? It's kind of hard to say. It will depend a lot on macroeconomic factors as well. But even if macroeconomic factors stay the same with the higher interest rates, with the slowing economic growth, with the price competition, price wars, and supply increases in the EV market, If Rivian hits these goals, I suspect Rivian's stock price will be higher ending 2024 than it is today. If you liked the video you just saw and you want to see more just like it, please subscribe to the channel. I can't keep this channel free without the support of viewers like you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, and I appreciate your support.